Hey guys! Today we're going to be taking a look at the Hynes Eagle Rolling Backpack, which is a 35-liter hybrid travel bag that you can use as both a backpack or a rolling suitcase. And typically this isn't the type of thing that I would normally like to travel with. I like more lightweight bags that I could wear on my back, but I've used a lot of Hynes Eagle bags in the past and they've always held up really well, especially for the price point that they come in at. And I've actually heard some really great feedback from both my wife and my parents on traveling with this sort of hybrid bag. They really like the idea of one bag travel with a backpack, but sometimes the weight can get to be a little bit much. So they like having the ability to use this as a rolling bag for when they get tired or when they don't have to go up a staircase or cobblestone streets or anything like that. So I wanted to try this out and share this just in case there were other people that had a similar preference for traveling. And so far it's been a pretty good experience. Like the other Hynes Eagle bags that we've used, it just has a really nice, simple design, pretty good durability, and it comes in at a great price point. So I'm excited to share it with you guys, and I want to thank the company for sending the bag for me to test out. And let's go ahead and jump in and take a closer look at the Hynes Eagle Rolling Travel Backpack. Starting out with the outside of the bag, I like the overall aesthetic. It has a pretty simple and minimalistic travel bag look, so it's going to blend in pretty well regardless of where you take it, which is nice for a travel bag so it doesn't stand out as looking too expensive. This actually has a really similar look to the 44-liter Hynes Eagle travel bag that we looked at a while back. It's just a pretty nice style overall. As far as the materials, the bag is made out of a pretty durable feeling and lightweight nylon that also feels like it's going to offer a nice amount of weather resistance. The weight as a whole is around 5 pounds, which is pretty heavy for a travel bag and is going to make it really tricky to take this on international flights with airlines such as Ryanair and AirAsia, since they do have stricter weight limits. But the use of the lightweight nylon does help offset some of that a little bit. One additional benefit of this nylon material is that it is fairly soft, so it will mold around the items that you place in it. So even if you pack the bag out pretty fully, it's nice that you'll be able to kind of squeeze it into a tighter overhead space, much like you would a duffel bag. Besides the nylon material, the bag has pretty nice zippers all throughout. I don't think these are YKK or anything like that, but so far they open and close smoothly and I haven't noticed any issues. One thing I will note about them is that the teeth are a little bit more exposed, so it does feel like you're going to be a little bit more at risk for water if you happen to get caught in some rain, especially these ones at the top. They don't have any sort of fabric covering or any sort of aqua guard, so just something to keep in mind as you're walking around with this outdoors. So a pretty solid build quality all around, especially for the price point that this comes in at. One thing that I will note about the softness of this bag is that it doesn't feel like the items on the inside are as well protected as they would be in a hard shell roller, especially if you have to check the bag. I would be a little bit concerned about any delicate items on the inside getting banged around if I had to check this. Moving on to the capacity, the bag comes in at about 35 liters, which is a really great one bag travel size. I was easily able to fit all the items that I normally take with me on a 1 to 2 week trip. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, because the bag isn't super rigid, I felt like I was able to get more stuff than a lot of the other 35-liter travel bags that I normally use. And I like that when I was wearing this as a backpack while it's fully packed out, it doesn't stick out too much. So it feels like it's going to fit in really well into overhead storage compartments and like I'm going to be able to carry it on to most domestic and international airlines. Continuing along the outside, there's no sort of external water bottle compartments, so the organization, as we'll see when we get into the main areas of the bag, is definitely more suitcase style than backpack. And then at the top there's just a simple grab handle here. Has a nice amount of reinforcement, but it's pretty thin. Not a lot of padding here, so when you have the bag fully packed out, this definitely isn't something that you'd want to use to carry it for a longer period of time. Moving on to the bottom, you can see some of the more suitcase style attributes of the bag. So it has this durable plastic gap here that you can use to raise the bag into an overhead storage compartment when you grab it from the top handle and here. And then it also has these 2 little plastic legs that allow you to stand the bag up when you have the suitcase handle extended out. And although the bag is able to stand on its own, I did notice that it was a little bit inconsistent. It had a tendency to lean one way or the other depending on how the bag was packed out. So just something to keep in mind as you're placing your bag down. You want to make sure that it doesn't tip over and accidentally damage anything that's on the front. And then on the bottom, there's also one of the key features, which are the wheels that allow you to use this like a roller bag. And for the most part, these are implemented pretty well. They have a pretty smooth roll. The wheels themselves feel pretty durable, and I like the texture here. It feels like you can take them over some rougher terrain and like they're still gonna hold up fairly well. I also like that since they're more embedded within the suitcase, they don't add any additional height like you might see on a traditional roller suitcase. So this is great for keeping the silhouette of the bag compact. And then having this style of suitcase that you kind of have to pull or push isn't quite as convenient as having the 4 wheels that you can just kind of roll around in a 360 motion, similar to the In-Case Novi suitcase that we looked at a while back. But I feel like this is still a nice trade-off. If the bag gets heavy or you're feeling a little bit tired, the wheels are still gonna make it a lot easier to roll this around than if you had to lug it around on your back. And then to complement the wheels, at the top there is this small zippered pocket here that hides the retractable handle that you can pull up. It goes up a nice height, and I really like that this handle is double barred, which makes it very easy to rest a day bag on here. If you have a backpack such as the Wander Duo that we looked at recently that has a nice luggage pass-through, you can actually rest it on here comfortably so that you can walk around the airport with both things on the suitcase. And the handle feels really sturdy. It's really easy to open and close. One thing that I'll note about the handle is that it is a little bit limited in how you can configure it depending on your height. So at this maximum height, this works well for me. I'm about 5'11", but you can shrink it down a little bit if you're shorter and you just want to have a little bit more of a comfortable hold on it. This doesn't work fully consistently though. The handle doesn't always lock into place at this lower height. So you can kind of pull it at this height, but it will kind of sink in, so it doesn't lock fully. I wish that the performance here was a little bit more consistent, but for the most part, the handle at least feels durable and it opens and closes very smoothly for when you want to convert the bag. When you're ready to convert this from a suitcase into a backpack, it's a really simple process. A nice feature here is that it has this zipper on the bottom with a built-in cover that you can use to cover the wheels so that your clothes don't get dirty as you're wearing the bag. I thought this was a really nice touch. I was actually very worried that I would end up getting the back of all of my shirts dirty after rolling this around for a long period of time through the airport or around a city. So really nice, simple implementation here. And then the first thing I'll talk about is the back paneling, and this is pretty well implemented. It's actually fairly comfortable. It has a nice amount of padding, and as I've been wearing this as a backpack, this has felt really soft. One thing that it doesn't have is a ton of elevation. It has some small air channels here, but the bag is gonna get a little bit sweatier if you're wearing it for a longer period of time, especially with the additional weight from the wheels and the suitcase handle. But still a pretty comfortable implementation here. And then the straps do tuck away whenever you're using this as a suitcase so that they don't get caught on the wheels. But when you're ready to convert the bag, you can pull the shoulder straps out from the top here. It has these little flaps. And then at the bottom, it has the connectors for the shoulder straps. So they use this plastic clip that feels pretty durable. Very simple process here. And then I really like how the straps have been implemented here. They have a nice amount of padding. They're really soft and broken in right out of the box. On the inside, they have this meshy material to help prevent moisture from building up a little bit. And then I really like the width of the straps. This definitely helps prevent them from digging into my shoulders, even when I have it fully packed out. And then the straps also have an adjustable sternum strap to help distribute the weight. And then at the bottom, there is also a waist belt, and this was really interesting here. I didn't particularly like the implementation of this waist belt. It's one of those kind of straps that doesn't offer a whole lot of padding. And then the placement of the waist belt was also interesting. So when I actually wear the bag like a backpack and I pull it up higher on my back, which is how I like to carry it, the waist belt actually ends up around my belly, which doesn't feel very comfortable or offer much support. So if I loosen the straps quite a bit, I am able to get the waist belt closer to my hips, but I just don't feel like it offers that much additional help for carrying the bag when it's fully packed out. So normally I just kind of choose to not use these and let them dangle. I do also wish that they were fully removable. Unfortunately, all you can do is tuck them away, but normally I don't do that even when I'm not using the strap because it does create a little bit of a bulge on the back, which is uncomfortable when I'm wearing the bag. Jumping into the organizational areas, there's definitely a lot of great pockets throughout the bag. One thing that I will note, however, is that this isn't a tech-focused bag, so you won't find something like a padded laptop sleeve or a good area to store your tablets safely. So something to keep in mind, if I was traveling with this and I wanted to take something more sensitive, I'd probably take a day bag that was a little bit better padded. The first pocket that we're going to take a look at is this small zippered area at the top. So this is just a very simple quick access pocket, no sort of internal organization or felt lining, just a nice amount of space. The only thing that I currently have in here is a lightning cable to charge my iPad and my phone. Behind that pocket there is another larger zippered area that also has some nice internal organization. So this is going to be probably the spot where I would place any electronics that I did have to take with me. So a nice amount of space here. I can easily fit both of my hands. As you can see with the volume that this has, I could probably also place maybe some toiletries or a jacket if I wanted to get to them quickly. And so jumping in, just some nice slip pockets here, starting with this one here on the back. It's just a large, simple sleeve, no sort of padding, but it is a spot that does fit my iPad mini 2. and you could probably fit a larger tablet in here if you just wanted some place to grab it quickly, but no sort of padding anywhere in this compartment, so you definitely want to be a little bit more careful if you were using this for those electronics. Continuing along the front, there is this large slip pocket on the left where I currently have my Ray-Ban sunglasses with their case. So really like the volume that this offers so that I could store a bulkier item. And then next to that, there's just two simple smaller slots for things like pens or a stylus, which is what I currently have here. And then all the way on the right, there is one additional larger slip pocket where I currently just have my Field Notes notebook, but this is gonna be a great spot to maybe put your passport or a portable hard drive if you do wanna take that with you. Plenty of capacity here. And then on the front of this slip pocket, there is a small mesh zippered area that's gonna be great for storing smaller items that you don't want floating around. And so this might be a great spot for putting some coins. Currently all I have in here is just a small flashlight that I like to take with me, and then a nail clipper to just kind of show off the space. Moving down along the front of the bag, there's another larger zippered and simple compartment, so plenty of space here. I really like how large these areas are. They're great for storing larger items. And so jumping in, currently what I have in here is my GoPro Hero 3 Plus, and then I also have my BluePop portable Bluetooth speaker and power bank. And even with those items in there, there's still plenty of leftover space, so if I had additional things that I wanted to take with me, maybe some snacks or some medicines that I needed to grab quickly, there's gonna be plenty of leftover space to store that here. And so the last area that we're gonna take a look at is the main compartment. And before jumping in, the first thing that I'll note is that it is lockable. And a nice thing is that Hynes Eagle actually includes this combination lock with the bag. So that's a nice touch to help add some additional peace of mind as you're traveling with this. And so taking the lock off, this has a suitcase style opening for easier packing. And I was really impressed with just how much I was able to fit in this main area. And so first up, I have my Air Go Pack, which is one of my favorite packable daily bags. This is really great to have, especially with a larger and heavier bag such as this, to make exploring throughout the day a little bit easier while I leave this larger bag in the hotel. Next up, I have my Air Dop Kit, which is one of my favorite Dop kits, and it is a little bit larger than some of the other ones that I use, but because this is a larger bag and I had some extra capacity, I chose to throw this in here. After that, I have my smaller packing cube where I normally store my underwear, socks, and t-shirts. And then I have a few pairs of shoes. Here I have my Toms, which I take with me on every trip. And then I also have a simple flat pair of sneakers. And then there is this one compression strap to help keep everything in place and to just kind of press everything down. I chose to not really try to expand this out towards the top since I stacked a lot of stuff, but still nice to have this, and this opens up really easily. And then the last thing that I have in here is my double-sided and compressible packing cube where I have my jeans and shirts and other larger clothing items. Now with the compartment empty, you can get a better feel for the capacity, so no sort of organization on the inside, just the one compression strap, and then on the back, you can see this outline for the handle on the back, so this does create this sort of gap here that you can use to maybe store some socks or underwear or just some flatter items. And then, as I've mentioned a few times throughout the video, I really like the flexibility of this material. As you can see, this collapses pretty nicely, and this is what really allows you to fit a ton of stuff in the bag and not have it stick out too much. So really like this implementation here, plenty of capacity, and I love the flexibility that this simpler area offers to allow me to organize everything the way that I normally like. The last thing in this main area is there is a mesh zippered pocket on the flap that you can use to add some separation. And so this might be a great spot to put something like medicine or toiletries or maybe some socks and underwear. And then a nice thing is that if you don't want to use it, it's really flat so it just stays out of the way. So just a really great job with the layout in this main area and throughout the rest of the bag. Love how much capacity this has. And although a hybrid solution like this isn't really the way that I normally like to travel, if you are somebody that wants something that you can use as a backpack or a suitcase, and you're looking to spend under $100, this is gonna be a great option to check out. And so to wrap up, it's been a really great experience testing out the Hynes Eagle Rolling travel bag over the past couple of weeks. The bag has tons of capacity, some nice organizational options. I really like the flexibility of being able to use it as a rolling bag and a backpack, and it also comes in at a pretty good price point. And so you can currently purchase this on Amazon for about $90, which I think is a pretty reasonable price considering the features and build quality that the bag has to offer. And I also think it compares well to other travel bags in this price range. And so as I was testing this out, one of the first bags this made me think of was the Hynes Eagle 44-liter travel bag that we featured a little while back. That one has a very similar build quality and aesthetic to this, but it is just more of a traditional travel backpack. So it doesn't have any of the wheels or the handle so that you can roll it. It's just a really solid, lightweight travel bag that offers tons of capacity. It's gonna be a little bit bigger than this one, coming in at 44 liters versus the 35 liters that this is. And it's also going to offer lots of great organizational options and come in at a similar price point. So if you're looking for a bag with this aesthetic and price, and you just want more of a traditional travel backpack, then that's going to be a great option to check out. The next bag this made me think of was the Suitcase Novi travel luggage, which is the only other rolling suitcase that we featured on the channel so far. We actually featured some footage of that throughout the video, and that's been a really solid, simple suitcase. It has tons of space, it's really durable, it has a sleek and minimal style. I really like how well the wheels work on that, and it comes in at a pretty good price point at around $70. So if you're looking for more of a traditional suitcase that's gonna maybe offer some more padding and rigidity and also a little bit more capacity, that's gonna be another good option to keep in mind. If you have a little bit of a higher budget, another great option to check out would be the standard Luggage Co. travel backpack, which is just a really solid all-around travel bag. It has tons of capacity, some nice organizational options, it's very comfortable to wear, and it's just super solidly built. It does come in at around $180, so it is going to be a bit of an investment, but if you're looking for a great all-around travel bag with this sort of aesthetic, that's going to be one of the best options to take a look at. The last option that I'll mention here is the Nomadic travel bag, which is one of my favorite larger capacity travel bags. That one comes in at around 40 liters, so it's going to be a little bit bigger than this, and it has more of a duffel style carry. You can use that as a backpack, but I really like the organization and capacity that that bag offers. It has a great build quality, tons of weather resistance, and I really like that it has a similar, less rigid style to this, so even though it's a little bit bigger, it does have the ability to squeeze into some tighter spots. And so that one's going to be a little bit more expensive, coming in at over $200, but if you have the budget and you're looking for a really versatile, large capacity bag that's going to hold up well over multiple trips, the Nomadic travel bag is going to be another great option to take a look at. With all that being said, the Hynes Eagle Rolling travel backpack holds up really well against all those bags, and I've been really impressed how much I've enjoyed using this hybrid setup. So if you're looking for a versatile travel backpack that's going to offer tons of capacity, lots of organizational options, and also have the ability to be used as a backpack and rolling suitcase, this is going to be a great option to check out. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you guys think of the Hynes Eagle Rolling travel bag and about hybrid bags like this in general. Do you normally like to travel with a traditional travel backpack, or do you like the idea of having a bag like this that you could either wear on your back or roll around when it starts to get a little bit heavy? And if there are any good options that you think I should feature on the channel, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank the company again for sending the bag for me to test out. And if you guys found this video useful, please give us a like. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And thank you guys so much.